right. Well, there we go. Happy New Year, everybody. Gotta love starting off a little technical issues, but that's quite all right. We adapt and overcome. We'll make this thing rock and roll. But anyways, happy New Year to each and everybody out there, whether you're watching this live or catching it on the replay. We are honored to have you guys join us here on Note Night in America for the fabulous 10th year of us doing Monday night calls, whether it was a webinar or conference calls. 10 years of doing it now, and just absolutely overjoyed to be back here for the 2021 version of it. But anyway, happy New Year to each and everybody out there. Like I said, celebrating our 10th year. Always seems to be the best thing that we do is by getting together on a regular basis and just staying consistent. And just one of the things I look forward to every week is spending time with you guys Monday night. These calls are recorded. The red button is in the thing. It is being recorded here, so you guys can always go back to weclosenotes.tv, which is our YouTube channel. Make sure you're there and subscribe to watch the replays of all the past and current Note Night in Americas, along with catching it not only on YouTube, but also on the podcast. We have to a podcast out there as well for Note Night in America out there. And, of course, we encourage you to check out the blogs, the full transcripts, everything at weclosenotes.com, along with our 50 megawatt blowtorch podcast, the Note Closure Show, as there as well. Let me see if I can't try to tie my tongue up a little bit more with tongue twisters this Monday night. But anyway, guys, we are excited. We've actually exceeded the 35 million listener mark through our radio network across the country. So December was was actually the highest month with our AM FM radio stations across the country. And so really, really excited. I just under 3 million listeners alone in December for our podcast. But a couple of things to put on the calendar. We do have our first one-day Note weekend up in just a couple of weeks, starting off January strong on January 16th. Get signed up at noteweekend.com. That's our one-day kind of Cliff Notes version of helping you dip your toes in the water. See if the water's warm. Trust me, it's really warm and really nice to dive headfirst into it. So for just $49, guys, you get over $1,000 in bonuses. You'll get the replays and over 8 hours of content, plus a 35-plus page manual to help you dive into the note business. But January 16th, go to noteweekend.com and get signed up. Very easy for noteweekend.com on January 16th. But anyway, one other thing, too, that a lot of people ask me about our WCN membership. We only open it up a couple times of the year. We are opening it first of the year for January. It's a lot of great bonuses, a lot of great things involved with it. It includes the Note Weekend training that we do monthly. It also includes our virtual workshop that we do at least 4 times a year for $5.99. You can repeat on that again. It includes a ticket to our mid-year Note Camp convention for $3.99, a VIP seat that we charge for that. It also includes the calling banks trainings when we do that for $49 or $59 once a month, once a quarter. It also includes a private base camp group and other bonuses with over $1,200 in bonuses there. And of course, you can always pick up the phone and call yours truly when you got questions about notes and funding and other things like that out there for you. So it's over $4,000 in training and bonuses, and it's just $97 a month for you guys. It's really the all-you-can-eat buffet. And it's pretty easy to get signed up at noteumbrella.com. There's a new link for it. So if you go to noteumbrella or WCNmembership.com, it should get there for you. But $97 a month, guys. Biggest bang for the buck in the note industry for you guys. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to reach out to me. Glad to help you out with that. Help you get rocking and rolling and make 2021 your most profitable year as a note and real estate investor. But speaking of profits, speaking of some money. I think of Danny DeVito sitting there. Money makes the world go round. Is some good stuff for us tonight. And so we are very honored. I know you guys saw this, the 3 major secrets that every investor must know to get funding in 2021 during a recession. And we are honored to have him join us again here for the first Note Night in America here in 2021. So you may already know him, but if you don't know, let me introduce our special guest, all right? He is a rock star, and I mean that, a total rock star. Just got back from spending time in Cabo Wabo, having some time over the last week. But he is originally the founder of Lexington Law Firm back in the day. He is known as, I call him, the credit messiah, okay? I've never met somebody who has a bigger passion for helping people with what he does and how powerful what he does and his team does in helping clients out there. So he is definitely, him and his team, the credit messiah, the credit disciples, we could call Sky and Jessica and Brad and all and Shine over there as well. But he has a huge passion for helping investors. And by huge passion, not only a passion, but a very, very awesome way of helping people out there. He is also the author of the best-selling The New F Word, along with being the host of the Get Fundable podcast. Some of you guys may recognize him from his Credit Insider Secrets and other things like that out there. He is the head honcho over at getfundable.com, the chief bottle washer, chief motorcycle rider, the chief fun in Fundable. He's our buddy Merrill Chandler joining us tonight. And if you want to understand something, guys and gals, last year alone, Get Fundable helped Merrill and his clients helped Merrill and his amazing team helped clients secure over $29 million in funding in last year alone. So kudos to the big cha-ching, and we got to give you a big, nice standing ovation, Mr. Merrill Chandler. You want to unmute yourself, or do I have to unmute you?
Thank you so very much. Seriously, Scott, I have so much fun, not just with you, your show, your people are always amazing. We have so many mutual clients, right? They've chosen notes as their wealth vehicle, their wealth strategy. And the first thing they run into is, so how do I pick up more notes, right? What can I do to get more of these? Because I really like this jam. What do I need to do to increase it? And that's what we're talking about tonight, you guys, is first of all, thank you again for letting me, for having me be at the first note night in 2021. I am, because we have some amazing news, and we'll get into it in just a second, but the lenders have a big problem, you guys, and you're the solution. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. No joke. I'll show you the numbers. Facts don't lie. So, shall we get this party started?
Yeah, buddy. Bring up your slideshow, and then I'll jump off video here. But I'll be here moderating questions. Let's keep your questions till the end, ladies and gentlemen, if we can.
Yeah, we'll do questions to the end. Sharing my screen, and there we go. Also, tonight is from our end. Sky is producing so she'll be moderating questions or otherwise, or any technical difficulties, things like that. So she's backing up Scott throughout the entire evening. We are sharing now, and how do we look? 5 by 5.
There we go. Perfect.
Got it. So I'm going to move the little bar, I'm told.
Yep.
And I got to go out to grab it. That's not very convenient. Okay. So just like I said, we're today, and first of all, I want to practice this. We've got over 30 of us here tonight. I want to know how many of you have seen one of me present before? How many of you seen any one of my presentations? Like, show me your hands. Click that little button and just click on the hand raise. Anybody? Hand raise. We got Anthony and Greg, Marcia, Robert, Roger, Jim. All right. So you guys know how to raise your hands, and I'm glad to see some of you are here. I promise you, it's different than what we've done before, because we've got more facts about COVID and about a slowing economy and what lenders' responses are. So I've got some great information for you tonight. First of all, today is all about discovering the 3 secrets. Now, some of you have seen my presentation before, but guess what? The secrets keep changing. The 3 main, most important things that is not known in the world of banking. That's what I'm here to tell you. I never want to go to 4 or 7 secrets. I always choose 3 because we have an hour and change, right? But these most important features of banking today are changing, and I'm here to keep you updated. So it's how you guys can know how to get funding even during an economic shutdown, when they're literally closing down. I just had somebody send me a text saying, oh, by the way, Merrill, if you're flying there's a 10-day lockdown, a 10-day quarantine flying into California from here. You got to go to your hotel and stay quarantined, right? Because it's a mess out there.
It's the communist states of California, right?
Yeah, the communist state of California. But the issue is that banks, in order to stay keep their guarantees by the federal government have to follow certain rules. And those rules are dictated by certain economic conditions. We're going to talk about some of those tonight. So two things are happening right now. One of them is there's a constriction in banking for some borrowers. The other thing is that we're on a time clock. And in December, I spoke about this. And in August, I spoke about this. And the time, it's ticking down. Remember, all the moratoriums that Fannie, Freddie, and the feds have offered to borrowers who could not make their mortgages, the vast majority of those started right around in that March, April, May, and we're going to be 6 months and then looked at again for 6 more months for a total of 12 months. That 12 months, guys, expires in March, April, May, and etc. The issue is are you ready for this? Because there seems to be kind of a wall of possible potential foreclosures, notes, etc., lining up to fall due and payable, and foreclosure proceedings begin. If someone is trapped with kind of their financial pants down, you may be able to be there to save the day. Some of you are going to be able to take advantage of this. Some of you won't, because we're not ready yet. We don't have the resources. And that's what I'm talking about right now. So we have 4 months to 6 months before this big moratorium begins to, it's kind of, you gotta fish or cut bait. And the feds, so far, I keep listening to all of the lender conferences, the Fannie Mae conferences. So far, they have not decided to extend another 6 months for these moratoriums. So good news, bad news, right? For those who are prepared, it's spectacular news. How many of you would like to have had 6 months worth of notice before 2008? Show me your hands. Anybody will like 6 months notice that for the 2008 was coming at you hard? Anthony does. Pat says yes. Anybody else? All right, it's the three of us. Robert, very good. So you guys, this is the time that we didn't have the opportunity in 2008. We have the opportunity now. So I started my presentation out saying the top tier banks have a problem. Well, the thing is that you're the solution to that. Borrowers drive our economy. So what do you mean by you're the solution, right? We always think the big bag banks, big money, right? Big capital. And we always think that they have the power. But if lenders only make money when they lend. I will say that again. Lenders only make money when they lend. And they happen to be in the best position that they've been in decades. They are, the Federal Reserve tested the top 33 banks. We call them top tier banks. They're the tier 1 and tier 2 banks in the United States. And for every single one of them, they were well capitalized and a source of economic strength, a source of strength to this economy. So then what's the problem? The problem is that they only make money when they lend, but they're not going to loosen up. They're not going to make bad loans. And so the problem is the funding target has shrunk, period. It used to be this, and now it's this. And if you don't know how to hit that funding target, you're not going to get any money, even though they are lending mad quantities of dollars to these people. So how are you the solution? Well, I'll go into a little deeper numbers that Scott had alluded to. It says, make slides small, can't see. Oh, on Zoom, there's a vertical slide. You can move the slide and you can make it smaller or larger. There you go. Thank you. So how are you the solution? How are you the solution? Well, I'll tell you about my clients in 2020, 222 of them. I thought that was an interesting number. 222 clients were funded this year. to the tune of $29 million. That's an average of $130,000 per client this year alone. That doesn't include the previous year and the year before that. It also includes that average. Think about it. That average includes clients who just signed up in September and October, right? November of 2020. They only had a short run to get funded, but the average is still $130,000. Show of hands. How many of you would like $130,000 sooner than later in order to start prepping you for this foreclosure? Anthony, Robert, Anthony, Pat, anybody else? T. Miller? Absolutely, guys. So, but that's this year alone. So when I tell you that the bottom line is, can you qualify for the least expensive money? Top tier banks, the top 33 banks. Can you qualify for the least money, the least expensive money available during an economic shutdown, during a recession? The answer is not just yes, but hell yes. You just have to hit that funding bullseye, and that's what we're talking about tonight. So I am committed. My mission, as he calls me the credit messiah, I just know I'm an evangelist. That's for damn sure. And I'm committed to helping every real estate and note investor get the funds you need to not just survive, but thrive. How to protect your business, how to protect your personal credit so that you can, so no matter how much there is a crunch, I will show you how to literally rob Peter and pay Paul to keep your business afloat and keep your credit positive so that you have the best reputation with the banks so you can continue to get loans. How many would like to know the secrets about how to actually keep lenders lending to you instead of raising your limits, instead of lowering them, expanding new loans instead of calling loans due? All right. And for some of us, we may need to prevent a worst case scenario, all of which we're here to support you on. Now, my number one goal for tonight is to help every single one of you see that there is a clear path for you to come out of this crisis better than you went into it. All right. Better than you went into it. Now, for some of you know me, my name's Merrill Chandler, and I bring something that is uncommon to this party. I'm a fundability coach and a business funding expert, and I have taken the mystery out. I pulled back the curtains on what business funding is all about, and we'll get to more of this in a moment. But what business funding really is all about. Now, during the last financial crisis, I did a lot of things right. And I recognized with my clients that when the markets and the lenders started to tighten their purse strings, certain key indicators started to change. We watched those indicators, measured those indicators, and we're able to pivot and support our clients getting through 2008. Now we have a whole new opportunity in front of us to be prepared to take advantage and raise capital during that time. All right. Now, my clients, that whole group of people that we just talked about, the 222, we have been able to raise their limits this year significantly, get new business lines of credit, business loans, not just business cards, not personal credit cards. This isn't credit card stacking. These are literally write a check, do a deal, business credit lines. Now, coming out of 2008, we were able to create this movement, this momentum that created a blueprint for protecting your business during a financial crisis, right? Avoid crashes. Actually, literally how to use credit. There are some fascinating ways to use your credit to actually meet your cash flow requirements and have the banks look at you positively instead of negatively. Imagine being able to raise your balances and keep balances without lowering your credit score. Would anybody like to know how to raise your balances without lowering your credit score? All of this is possible when you know what the banks are measuring, et cetera. So one of the things that we learned coming out of out of 2008 and over this last year, we've implemented the same strategies again. And we have been, it's been awesome to be able to get over $29 million this year alone, 2020. 10 of those months were COVID. Okay. So we discovered the key that unlocked the secret to business funding. And the business funding is the key to your success, both in your personal life and in your business life. I'm telling you, it is going to be a phenomenal when you learn what these 3 secrets are. All right. Now, please understand that over the 25 years I've been doing this, I have tried everything, a whole bunch of things that distilled down into a handful of very simple, very easy to implement strategies that work every time. And I'm going to break it all down very simple, very easily for you guys. And since you're here today attending this presentation, you get to cheat and do this the easy way, since I took 25 years to gather all this and 2 recessions, right? Now, what do I mean by the easy way? Well, this is a picture of me and Will Lansing. Now, he's nobody to you, but he to the world of finance and funding approvals for your credit lines and business loans. He is Zeus of the funding gods. And he is the CEO of FICO, and FICO is not just in charge. Most of us think of FICO as just the 3-digit score that determines our credit worthiness. Guys, that is like 7% of FICO's 7% of their influence in lending. Do you realize that it's FICO engines for these 33 national, top tier banks, tier 1 and tier 2 banks? FICO provides the engine for their underwriting guidelines that approve you or deny you, period. The engine that approves you or denies you is written by FICO. It doesn't have anything to do with your score, completely different division. But because of whatever amazing confluence of circumstances, I ended up being able to meet with Will Lansing. And when I told him about my business model, about optimizing borrowers, making borrowers fundable and attractive to banks, so they're banks' perfect customers. We all look for perfect customers, right? And banks have a perfect customer. And when I told him that my mission was to make borrowers this perfect customer for banks, he was all on board immediately. And he had me meet with his personal score development team, the FICO 3-digit score development team, and the business score development team. And in those meetings, I was able to ask over 100 questions about what lenders are looking for in the perfect borrower. How many would you like to know what would it be interesting to know what lenders are looking for in a perfect borrower, and that you can actually become that borrower? Anybody interested in that kind of? Anthony, it's you and me, man. So the whole point, there's Robert and Marcia and the other Anthony, very good, Pat and KJ, Richard. This is like mind-blowing information. And so the main thing you need to understand is that if you're with me, if we're in this together, you have a seat at the FICO and lender table. We're not begging for scraps out there outside, eating our porridge with the folk who don't know what lenders are looking for, the unfundable. We are sitting at the table knowing with utter clarity what it means to be fundable and how to be the bank's perfect customer. So all the facts, I have a FICO liaison. I interact with them. I've attended during COVID, FICO online symposiums that are all about how FICO is helping lenders shift to meet the needs of borrowers. We have this inside scoop. Now, over this entire time, I've developed all of these processes, and I've developed this relationship with FICO. I've learned some things that may I know it's true for some of you who are listening to me right now. Most real estate investors believe that the reduction of credit limits and the closure of accounts is inevitable during a recession. Okay? Not true if you know what you're doing. Most real estate investors believe they have no control over funding approvals. What if I told you you are the only party in control of your funding approvals? More on this in a minute. What if you're actually responsible for getting your approval? Okay. Most real estate investors believe that it is as bad as they think it is. What if it's not? What if, we'll go back to that thing in a moment. What if lenders are just looking for the perfect borrowers during a recession, and they have all this money to lend that they've been lending to everybody during positive times, but they still have all this, the same amount of money to lend? They're not changing that they lend, they're changing who they lend to. How many of you would like to have a big old bucket ready to receive those funds from a lender? That's what I'm talking about. $29 million in fundings since the beginning of COVID. Okay. And the last one, most real estate investors have been lied to about how business credit works, and you've been manipulated into wasting your money on business credit schemes and destroying your personal credit in the process. How many of you, no joke, how many of you know somebody? Don't raise your hand if it's you, because it's this is a sad fact. How many of us didn't know what we were getting into when somebody offered us at the back table business financing, and they ended up getting us a whole bunch of personal credit cards that ended up ruining our personal credit? Anybody know somebody who went through credit card stacking and ended up with a whole slew of debt and unusable because you can't write a check and do a deal, right? That's not okay. So over the last 25 years and now 3 recessions, these are the main beliefs that real estate investors have about top tier money, the least expensive money on the planet. And see, people ask me all the time in the Q&A, so I'll just tell you right now. When I'm talking usually 3.5% to 6% are the interest rates of these credit lines and business loans that we're talking about. Okay, so I've helped real estate investors and note investors just like you obtain over $162 million in approvals in the last few years. 29 of that just in 2020. So ready for the secrets? I want to share with you now the 3 things you need to know to change the dynamics between you and top tier money. Secret number 1, how to get top tier inexpensive bank money, because real estate, the secret is that real estate investors can stop chasing money and get up to $1 million in, listen carefully, stated income, unsecured business lines of credit. These are not credit cards. These are credit lines and business loans, if you prefer them, up to $1 million. Why $1 million? It can be less, it can be more, but $1 million is how much this FICO business approval software goes for stated income unsecured loans. That's why it's available to you, because
Wow.
you go up to $1 million. FICO's software, it's called SBSS, Small Business Scoring Service. FICO is designed to approve up to $1 million. No documentation, no paperwork, single page application. Anybody, does that speak anybody's language, or am I talking to the wrong group? Does that speak anybody's language? Anthony, again, yeah. You're right. We're both Anthony's. Anthony Welch, Anthony Salters. You guys rock. Agnes, awesome. So, you guys, this is the real money. This isn't poser money. This isn't credit cards posing as credit lines. This is real money. Now, so that's the first secret. Up to $1 million in stated income unsecured business lines of credit are available in a single page application. Stop chasing hard money and private money and put these lines of credit in your pocket and use them to grow your business. Secret number 2, how to use fundable behaviors. Now, remember I talked to you, I said that I'd met with the score development teams that the CEO of FICO introduced me to. During those sessions, because we had several meetings over 4 days, and during those sessions, we learned that especially real estate investors get denied funding because you don't know the right borrower profile and the right borrower behaviors that trigger funding approvals in any economy, including a recession or a constricting economy. There's a profile and behaviors. And so let me tell you so let me share with you, last year, 2 Novembers now, the last FICO conference that was a live conference, they had a course called Next Recession Prepping. Now, they didn't know COVID was coming up 4 months later. It was called Next Recession Prepping. FICO has invented a new credit score. It's called a resiliency index to see whether or not to lend to you in a recession. The score is designed to say, oh, you have a 700, but should I lend to you based on certain criteria, or should I not lend to you? You have a 750. Should I lend to you or not lend to you? Your 3-digit score does not matter. What scores is the FSSI, this FICO score stress indicator, expands credit when your score is more robust, and it contracts if you are not recession resilient. Whole new score, guys. And lenders, business lenders especially, use this score to evaluate whether or not to lend to you now, right? Would that be a cool thing to know? Would you like to know what that score is? And B, would you like to know how to improve it so that they lend to you during a recession? So what do I mean by a robust, right? Let's talk about that. So your funding guidelines are very loose during prosperous times, low unemployment, high GDP growth, everything's shaking, rattling, and humming, right? We call it prosperity lending. And as long as you hit the target's way out here. So they're going to get approved. Now, the outer rings may be more interest or higher fees, but you're still going to get approved. Now, what we do, what we're talking about here is us being able to, what we're looking to do here is we want to tighten the scatter group, right? Any of you sight in a rifle? When you sight in a rifle, you don't move the target, just like the funding target's never going to move for lenders. The target is the target. The question is when you sight in that target, you're moving little pieces of the sights in order to pull it and see where it hits, tighten it up, pull it, see where it hits, and get your scatter group from this to this. Everybody with me? Everybody, tell me you guys understand what I'm talking about. How sighting in a rifle, sighting in your fundability. Thank you, Anthony and Pat, Marcia, etc. Okay, you guys are with me. So we want to go from just like sighting in a rifle. We want to sight in our fundability, our funding measures, how close we are to the funding bullseye, and so we want to optimize our profile and behaviors. Remember that we're on the second secret. The second secret is having the right borrower profile and the right borrower behaviors. Well, we need to tweak your borrower behaviors literally that you do every single day. You don't spend more money. You just change the way You change the way you behaved subtly in a way that is going to, it'll knock your socks off. We'll get to it in a second, but we want to cite this in. And so you want to learn the right borrower profile and the right borrower behaviors. Now, there are 40 borrower behaviors. We'll get to that in a sec. So take a look at this. So when we cite in our rifle, we will hit the bullseye more often. But guess what? If we put a smaller target out there, we will continue to hit it. Just like lenders will only lend to what I call bullseye borrowers. They'll only lend to people who are in that bullseye because that's safe lending. Now, think of it as just a glut of money. They have so much money to lend, and they have lost 80 to 90% of their borrowers. Tell me you guys understand at least what I'm saying. Agree, don't agree, but do you understand what I'm saying? Richard and Anthony, etc. Okay, thank you guys. They've lost their borrower base. So whenever they find a good borrower, they are going to blow up your funding opportunities. They are going to fund you hardcore to the tune of $29 million for $130,000 on average for clients just in 1 year. So that's what that looks like for my client. Those bullseye borrowers, fourth quarter, I ran out of graph size. Fourth quarter of last year was over $17,000. But look, earlier and earlier and earlier, we were killing it in fundings, but fourth quarter alone was over $17 million. So those numbers are real. Not just, when I say real, I'm saying those numbers are what lenders need to lend to. These borrowers right here, these bullseye borrowers, that's what they're looking for. And if you are one of those, you will get money. The beauty about lending algorithms, while I'm kind of talking tech, the beauty of math is that 4 + 4 is 8 in this universe. Period. It just is. So if you align your behaviors to fit their lending guidelines, then you're in charge of your approvals. But bottom line, and I got 222 clients this year alone who will say, yes. All right. So we already kind of went through this. There are 40 borrower behaviors that are graded by FICO. 10 of them measure derogatory listings. 30 only work with your positive listed accounts. So that means without removing a negative item, you can truly get funding for your business. I have clients with 800 plus fundable profiles who have gotten funded and they still have derogatory accounts on their credit profile. Okay. There are so many more things we can talk about. That's why I've got a great thing for you here towards the end. So stay with me. So insider secret number 2 is how to use these fundable behaviors to take down loans and lines of credit. So real estate investors get denied funding because they don't know the right profile or behaviors that trigger funding approvals. I think we've covered that. Well, let's go to number 3 now. Secret number 3, and it's my number 1 investor hack. Now, when it comes to talking about banks, I don't like using the word hack, but real estate investors get big money approvals when they create a highly fundable business. And the secret is how to create it in under 24 hours. So let me tell you one of my stories. One of my students came out of a boot camp and she did everything she was supposed to. She was just hardcore about getting the little things changed that she needed to change. She walks into Wells Fargo, top tier bank, and walks into Wells Fargo, doesn't have a relationship with Wells Fargo, no previous relationship. And she goes, yeah, I'm happy to have you pull my credit, but I'm looking to open up a business checking account. And they pull her profile, and then not only pull her profile, but they do their business search. And they look at the business search and she goes, you know what? If you'll fill out this additional application, because she was going to get a credit card, I think we can get you probably a $50,000 business line of credit. Now, she hasn't built any relationships yet. She's just barely walking in to start with Wells Fargo. And before the afternoon was out, because it took a couple of hours just working out all the accounts, she got a $20,000 business credit card and a $50,000 business line of credit from Wells Fargo. How? Because she had done number two, aligned her profile and borrower behaviors, and then developed the right kind of fundable business. And what do I mean by a fundable business? Well, I'm going to tell you right now that there are some, all right, I'm just going to tell you, some of you have seen this, some of you hadn't. But if your business name has any of these words in the title of the business or the business purpose at the Secretary of State's office, then you will also have an offending business code that is unfundable and is probably one of the reasons initially for your denials. The wrong words and the wrong business codes will get you denied. Perfect example. Back in March, April, when they were doing the PPP loans and everything was skyrocketing, SBA underwrote those loans. So what did they use? The small business scoring service that I told you that scores up to $1 million. Single page application. Sound familiar? So my friend has been getting business loans from Quicken. Had two of them in the past 2 years, but basically a 6-month payoff, wait 6 months, get another one, etc. Paid them both off successfully. His loan officer called him up after the 6 months, said, "Hey, would you like another one?" Tom's like, "Yeah, I'd love another one." Fills out the same application. Everything is presented just like he's done twice before, and now he gets denied. He didn't even ask for the loan. They came to him for the loan. And the loan officer is like, "I don't understand. This should be a laydown. You've done 2 of these. You've got a perfect record with it. Let me run this up the flag poles." Goes and checks it out with his manager. After 2 or 3 managers, comes to find out that the SBA, when approving to manage the tide of all the approvals, to manage the tide of all of the business approvals, the SBA shut down 75% of all the business codes as unfundable and processed. Some of you may know somebody who didn't get approved initially, but may have gone back and gotten approved later. These business codes are not only real, but they are deadly if they are the wrong business codes. And then let's get rid of COVID and PPP loans and EIDL loans. They're going to, anytime somebody is going to look at your business to see whether or not it's a fundable business, is it a safe business to put money into? If it has any of those words or the corresponding business codes, you're going to get denied. Just straight up. So that third secret is vital, you guys. You not only have to have fundable personal profile, but you've got to have a business that is fundable and that lenders are willing to put money into. Whew. All right. Pretty cool, right? So, quick question. If you did what I'm teaching you tonight, if you literally, secret number 1, were able to stop chasing money and start applying for and getting approved for unsecured, inexpensive bank money, and if you aligned your borrower behaviors with borrower profile and behaviors with approval guidelines, and you created a fundable business that accelerated this business lending, do you think you could be successful? I want to see hands. If you did those 3 things, does it feel natural to you? T. Miller says yes. Anthony, Ernest, Richard, Pat, Ken. Absolutely, you guys, because it makes sense, right? Am I telling you something weird? I've been working with Scott for 6 years, and he's watched this entire industry shift in and out from COVID. When we were in 2017, 18, things were climbing. The funding rules were different, and now they're different again. We have to keep up. So if you were successful, then just imagine having 300, 400, 500,000 or more during this shutdown. What would that do for you? How would it change your life to be able to write a check for $300,000 or $400,000 or $500,000 to do a deal? Anybody see that as mind-blowing?
Yes.
T says, Ernest, Richard, Robert, thank you guys for sharing. I love your participation, Anthony. So, how many of you think this is pretty exciting? Anybody? Right? Cool as hell, right? Absolutely. Now, how many of you feel like you've been drinking out of a fire hose? Be honest. I have been accused of being a little overwhelming times because I talk fast and I know a lot of stuff. So Anthony does, Robert does, Ernest, Pat. So at least we're all on the same page, because I have, is it okay if I share a special offer that I've created just for you because you're part of Scott's universe? Scott and I have been working together for years. We have hundreds of mutual clients, and hundreds of the mutual clients, dozens of them are in your tribe, Scott. Just from memory, I know of so many of your clients that are getting these fundings, right? So what I'm offering is a 2-day Get Fundable Bootcamp, the Thrive, Survive, and Protect edition. And what we're doing is it will be streaming live and interactive on Zoom Friday and Saturday, the 15th and the 16th. So I noticed you and I are overlapping there on Saturday, Scott. So I didn't know your schedule. So
My bad. I thought you had a class this weekend. So
yeah, So my bad. So, but the beautiful thing is that, and I'm going to show you a way that you can, how would you like to be able to attend both Scott and my class? How would you like to be two places at once? All right, I'm going to show you how that works. So who this has worked for: new real estate and note investors, experienced real estate and note investors. And if you believe, and I'm going to notice the word I'm using, if you believe you have bad credit or good credit or great credit, no matter what you believe, your credit score is not your fundability. In fact, lenders look at your scores somewhere in the neighborhood of 5th or 6th when it comes to what they're reviewing and your score has never been used to approve you. It's in charge of your rate or your term and how much your limit or loan amount is, but never your approval. Those 40 borrower behaviors are what approve you, right? So you'll also, as we've already talked about, you'll also be able to stop having lenders reduce your credit limits and close your accounts. Stop having deals slip through your fingers, and especially feeling the uncertainty and stress of not knowing if you'll be approved. I know there are those of you out there who just don't even try anymore. You go straight for hard money or private money because you're like, my bank has rejected me so many times, it's not even worth trying. You can stop chasing money and stop getting blacklisted by lenders because you have too many inquiries. I know some of you suffer from that as well. Too many inquiries because you just don't know why they're saying no. Well, what if you did know why they're saying no, and how to turn that into a yes? Stop paying body part pricing for interest rates on hard money. That's what I call arm and a leg, right? And why share your profits with private money and credit partners when you can do it all yourself? So there are 2 days. The first day, we're talking about leveraging the recession protocols to get more funding. I'm going to show you how to actually set up your finances, prioritize your values so that you know how to protect your credit, protect your and how to use your credit to protect any lifetime savings if you're in protection mode. I'm going to show you how to use your current credit payments to actually get higher limit amounts. How would you like to know just how to pay the very bills you're already paying and have it be extremely pleasing to the lenders? Be like, oh, they're a great borrower. How about, remember, we're talking about these bullets are all about citing in the little tiny things you need to do. It's not hard. You've cited in a gun before. It's not hard. You just got to know what to push and pull and twist and turn, right? How would you like to use payment moratoriums to actually improve your relationship with your lenders? I mean, use the moratoriums and have your lenders go, yeah, I like you. I want to keep working with you. I will show you how to use your minimum payments to get more loans and lines of credit from that lender. Credit limit increases. And just like I promised at the beginning, how to carry high balances and not drop your credit score. How to carry high balances, but not have your credit score drop. How many of you would like, in the middle of a flip, if fixing it up, getting it ready to turn or to rent out, and you have a ton of balances, but your personal credit doesn't suffer? Those are the things we'll be talking about on day one. On day two, we're going to be talking about guaranteeing the actual funding approvals, right? First day is prepping. Second day is making sure the approvals are delivered. Avoid the top 8 mistakes that real estate investors make that kill your approvals, and how you can actually discover what I will show you how to look up and find out what your funding codes are and how to change them to a fundable code. And you'll discover dozens of secret weapons about that are literally, when I say insider secrets, I'm not talking marketing. I'm not talking about, schmoozing you. I'm saying FICO inside secrets about how to 10x, how to turn $100,000 approval into 10 $100,000 approvals. Anybody interested in 10xing your business funding approvals? Would that be okay if you knew how to actually leverage that? Pat and Anthony, Ernest, awesome. We're going to weaponize your funding approval factors. There's that bullet. You've said there's that target, right? It literally looks like it's a target, and your credit profile, utilization, whether you have money or lots of money or no money, you have a business, you don't have a business, all of those things, we're going to weaponize those approval factors. Then we're going to weaponize your borrower profile and your behaviors. Weaponize your borrower profile and your behaviors. We're going to show you what types of accounts are contributing to getting business lending and what types of accounts you have that are actually going to have a lender say no to you. And then we're also going to weaponize your business fundability, literally what your business structure and the dynamics of your business need to be for a lender to say yes to you. In fact, we do 2 hours of the 16 hours is in this course. 2 hours is about what we call the fundability index. We're going to stack up your credit, personal and business, against lender guidelines. You're going to see them side by side and grade what, so we can attack the gap, right? Where you are, where you need to be, and what you need to do to attack that gap. All of that it's a workshop mode. And then at the end of the boot camp, I'm going to be able to forecast your funding timetable based on that fundability index score. So if you went to my web class, if you went to my website and looked at these master classes, day 1 is 4, day 2 is 6 master classes. If you went and got those individually, that's worth $3,994. Because Scott and I have had an amazing relationship, and his people are amazing, amazing funding hackers that we're offering this to you for $97. Now, I know this is an amazing deal. It's straight up. And I've even had people tell me that they think it's too good to be true. But like I said at the beginning, my goal for this hour was to help each of you see that there is a clear path, that there is a way, and that the light at the end of the tunnel is hundreds of thousands of dollars in business lines of credit. If you don't need those, then you're in the wrong place. If those would serve your business, you're in the right place. So Sky's just dropped the link in the chat, Get Fundable Bootcamp, to be able to go check that out. Now, here's where you get to, you get a package deal, or I don't know if it's a package deal. You get both Scott and I at the same time, because so many people have said this is a one-time viewing. This $97 one-time viewing, but if you would like the insider playbooks, the bonuses to be more successful, to have everything you need to be successful, I have lender playbooks, and I have advanced strategy accuracy audits and dispute templates, the complete library of Get Fundable Bootcamp video recordings. There are over 22 of them now, and lifetime access to the Funding Hacker Solution private Facebook group. Now I'm going to tell you about this Facebook group. This is me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you take advantage of this, you get to come and talk to me and ask me personally your fundability questions during these 2 sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays every single week. $197.29 a month for as long as you want access to the recordings, and as long as you want access to me and the awesome content we have every week in our Facebook group. So the good news about the 197 is that you can come on Friday with me, go to Scott on Saturday, and watch the recording on Sunday.
Or they can go to yours Friday, Saturday, and then get my replays on Sunday, so they don't miss anything on you too.
What?
And here's
you
another
mean
thing.
This is so easy to have it all? What? This must be 2021.
And I'm going to throw in, if they sign up for your stuff, I will throw in a pass to Note Weekend at no additional cost as an extra bonus on there too for them.
Holy hell. What did you hear what he just said? That if you sign up for if you sign up, is that for either one of them or the 197?
If they sign up for either one of them,
if you sign up for either one of them,
yep,
he will throw in the Note Pass 1-day event, right?
Yep, exactly. And they get the replay, so they don't have to miss anything.
You don't miss anything. That's brilliant.
This is one of the top 2 events that I always recommend. I think you have to have to really be long-term. I don't care if you're working full-time, you're unemployed. This is stuff that you all need. It's more valuable.
Yeah.
For everybody. I've been through this class. Stephanie's been through the class. You know, we have used these things for our funding. We have used this for when we get things refinanced. And there's so much more. There's so many things that I thought going into the class that turned out to be missed. I didn't realize that my 26 addresses that were showing up on my FICO report would drive my scores down. You know what I mean? As an investor, I can move quite a bit.
You guys, it's crazy. And no, okay, and we're not even done, because guess what? Well, for this boot camp, normally I would offer a chance to meet with me after the boot camp and review your fundability index. That's sold out. That's sold out like in November for this particular boot camp, because we don't do these every month, guys. We do not do these every month. So, but I'm going to make it bulletproof for you because he's offering this inside of the package. I'm going to tell you what, if you are not happy with the funding strategies you learn by the end of day 1, by Friday, I will give you 100% of your money back, you guys. If you don't like day 1, I will give you your money back. You don't get to go to day 2, but, and I have a stellar business reputation. My word is the only thing that matters to me, and my integrity is as bulletproof as a human being can make it. And I want to make sure that you have a chance to try this out risk free. So you guys tell me, at least understand what I'm talking about, what our offer is. That risk free, the end of day one. If you aren't blown away, not, oh, that was nice. If you're not blown away, I will give you your money back and take you off the list for day two. Now,
if somebody's working on Friday, they'll get the replays though, correct?
Yes. So that's one of the, we'll get to the questions in a minute, Ernest, but yes, we've got a workaround for you. Even though you work full-time, we've got you. We got you solid. In fact, we'll get you set up really easily. So the real question for you guys, there's only one thing. Is it worth gambling one day to find out? Not here, we're talking about what the strategies are, what you need to do. In the boot camp, we're going to talk about 32 strategies on how to implement what we've been talking about tonight. 32 strategies plus 2 hours of workshopping your fundability, your personal fundability. Is it worth one day to see how close you are right now to getting unsecured business lines of credit? If it's not worth it to you, don't come. You suck as a student anyway, right? You wouldn't be any fun, because this is interactive. This is me and you talking. At the end of every single one of these 32 strategies, we answer questions, just like we're going to do here in just a moment. The last thing I want to share with you are what other students are saying. The top left, this has literally been drinking from a fire hose. I can't believe everything I've been doing wrong when it comes to being fundable. We call them funding landmines, and I'm going to show you how to stop stepping on funding landmines. These guys and gals really know what they're talking about and shed some light on how I was taught the complete opposite of what I should be doing to build business credit. Credit in the middle. Credit Sense Bootcamp is a mind-blowing event. So much information, I could literally not write it down fast enough. If you're thinking of doing 97, go for it. But I'm going to tell you right now, the upgrade, it costs 97 or 197. I'm just being fair and transparent with you. If you buy 97 and you go to the boot camp and go, oh, I want the 197, it's going to cost you $300, not $100. So you have until Thursday before the boot camp to upgrade to 197. After the boot camp stops, I know how valuable it is. Unfortunately, you don't. Scott knows how valuable it is. Unfortunately, you don't. If you aren't a first adopter, that's okay. But when you want to upgrade and get all the recordings and be able to soak in these awesome strategies, it's going to cost you $300 to upgrade instead of $1. Fair enough? Is that everybody? I want to see hands. Is that fair enough? Once you know, Anthony, Richard, Ernest, Pat, excellent. So just choose the 197, because if it's not awesome, you're going to get your money back anyway. All right. Bottom left, Tracy Lee Hazard. The Credit Sense Bootcamp is the most bottom line useful program I have ever attended, business or personal. Every penny was earned 10 times over in the first hour of what not to do. Every credit optimization behavior should be taught to every college student, entrepreneur, and would-be investor. You guys, no joke. So, in her own words, Teresa is a note investor. She's going to talk about assets. I'm going to share this with you all on her own.
I did what you said to do. Just a couple of things, and my score went up 30 points right away. And so within 6 months, my score went up over 100, and I was already in the 700. So my score's nearly perfect now. And they all line up, and I was able to achieve, a $500,000 unsecured line of credit my first time out of the gate with my first bank. So that really put me in a position to change the game that I'm executing to change my retirement strategy. And in fact, I actually used the line of credit recently for the first time, so it put me into $1 million asset that I would not have been able to secure. And in fact, the bank, I was putting all the documentation together, and they called me and said, okay, we're done. And I said, don't you want the paperwork? And they said, no, your credit score is fine. In fact, it's unusually fine, so we're just going to give it to you. We don't need any more.
No doc loan.
Line of credit. So $500,000 later.
You guys, a no doc loan at $500,000 unsecured stated income. All right. Well, we'll take our questions here, but you guys, I'm telling you, we have so much fun at these boot camps, and you are going to be blown away. And if you do the 197, the 29th starts the first month right now, but you get to come and join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Mountain and Thursdays at noon Mountain, and you get to ask me any question you want about your fundability. It's super helpful after you've attended. So let's take any of these questions here that we've got. Let's see. I've pop up. Stephanie was just saying that she's seen the resiliency index. Yes, we've got. Yeah, I'm going to go through the comments here. Yes. Oh, and yes, Anthony says, I'm a black male and I've been told that now is a great time for people of color to get a business loan. Any advice about playing the race card in my favor? Okay, so guess what? Just last week, Anthony, I don't know if you do you know Solomon R.C. Ali? He's probably the third richest man of color in the United States. And he was on my podcast, and we talked hardcore about this is that automatic underwriting. That's what we've been talking about. Automatic underwriting serves it's pro gender blindness, pro color blind. It evens the playing field so that you are a bunch of numbers. And if we can play the numbers, that's why they're saying it's great. It's great for a black man, black woman, any man or woman of color. It isn't that you're black that you would get funded. It's that they don't know anything about you other than your numbers. And now we can all be fundable. Tell me you guys at least understand what I'm talking about. Are you with me, Anthony Salt? Do you get what I'm saying? That we can now, absolutely, we can now let our numbers speak for us, and then we get to know what the numbers are. We get to know what the perfect borrower is to a lender and become that borrower. And I'm going to show you how at this boot camp. Yeah, no more human bias whatsoever. None. That's what the beauty of automatic underwriting. All right. So the dates, Marcia, are the 15th and the 16th. You can see down here in the bottom left on your screen, January 15th and 16th. And if you buy any of the packages, Scott has insanely graciously, I don't know what you're doing, has insanely and graciously said that you will get your the one day included in your. So Scott, tell them how to coordinate that, but you will, or I could just make a list of the people who sign up and send it to you.
Have you guys make a list, and we'll just send them an invite. Because we
all right, so you got that, Sky. Yeah, and the cool thing is about these is you get to watch them multiple times. That's the beauty of the 197. That's why it's the most popular. Now, Agnes says, can this work with someone who is on unemployment and not work for 10 months? Here's the beauty. If you are paying, if you are on unemployment, but you are paying your bills, then I can show you how to pay your bills to become more fundable, so that when you do return to employment, I also show you how to vet banks and create relationships with banks, so that you establish this relationship, so that when you do get into employment again, you're already on third base for funding. Tell me you understand what I'm saying, Agnes. Does that make sense? Tell me you understand what I'm saying. That you can raise your hand or say yes in the chat. But yes, this applies to you, and you can use it right now to establish a positive relationship with your personal profile and business lenders. Absolutely. And the next one was, problem is I work full-time and cannot take Friday off. How can this be worked out? piece of cake. I think we asked, we answered that already. You can watch the replay. You can go live on Saturday and watch the replay of Friday if you get the 197. Or you can go to our next one, which will be in a couple of months. You can always move but I'd rather you know this information sooner than later. Okay, Scott, do you have any other questions? Does anybody have any questions? I'd love to make sure that everybody has what they need to create this. And yes, Anthony, I saw your comment. It really is great. It's amazing that we can, any of us, I mean, any human being can fill out an application and be treated for the numbers, because that's ultimately, because they're measuring our behaviors. And Anthony, if you join me on this boot camp, all of you, I will teach you what it means to be fundable and how to do that. And yes, Anthony also commented, you're trying to fill a water gun with a fire hose. No freaking joke. Yeah. This is going to be so much fun. So come and join me, you guys. I love to have you.
Yeah, guys, you will learn so much from this. This will have such a impact, not only now, but into the future. And this is why it's so relevant. They don't teach this stuff in high school. They don't teach it in college. Oftentimes we're handed down by what we believe in and being taught by friends or family members, stuff like that. Oh my God, you want Uncle Merrill there showing up for you, because the fact is he's going to set it straight. His team is phenomenal. They give you a little bit of homework and your eyes will open to things that you may have never seen or ever heard of before. And I stand by. That's why I had him on here today. That's why I'm willing to throw in my one-day class along here to help get you guys find the value in it. Be like Teresa. Be like all the testimonials out there, guys. You need to take the opportunity on this. Trust me, there's been some people on here before. I think Linda Martin was on here. A few others been on here. Steph's been on the class. Do like Teresa does. Do like all the others do. Get signed up at the 197. It's the biggest bang for your buck. And then the coaching calls, the Facebook Lives that Merrill does live as part of the 29. Well worth it as well, too, to go back. I was just talking to our good buddy Forrest, actually, earlier today. Forrest Supremate, who is all excited about what he's been doing with you as well, too, Merrill, before we get rolling.
Forrest, he's crushing it. He is crushing it. He is so killing it out there.
All right, guys.
I won't give anything away, but he may or may not. I can either confirm. I can either confirm or deny that Forrest was one of the 222. Yeah, my internet sucks.
That's okay. All right. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for the night. Merrill, thanks for joining us. Yep. January 15th and 16th. It's in 2 weeks. Take an opportunity, getfundablebootcamp.com, get signed up for the 197. Attend the first day. If it's not the most impactful day, they'll gladly give you a refund on that 97 or the 197 so that you can bah humbug. That's fine. You don't find the value in it, guess what? You can still keep the one-day class for me if you get signed up and find some value there. All right? Merrill, love you, brother. Happy New Year to you and Sky and everybody over there. All right? We'll talk to you later.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks.
Love you. Happy New Year.
You too, buddy. Bye.
Will do. Okay.